All right, welcome traders. This is Christian from Tribeca Trade Group with your Monday morning index breakdown and basically a macro breakdown, what's kind of going on around the world, and really some important index levels to watch. So, how you can use these levels is I usually set alerts where I look for whether or not we're basically in a range market or in a trending market. So I've got some levels for the day, for the week, and a little bit for the month. Considering we are now in November, I think when I shoot this video every Monday morning because we have a new value area, but we also have a new value area for the month of November. So I think that comes into play with the S&P. Your support here is 2572. So I've got that drawn out here. Support 2572 for S&P futures. Notice, we've been grinding higher now for it seems like months, but definitely for the last month, it's been a slow grind higher. Your support is 2572. If we move over to the 1 hour, you can see that it's 2578 and a half. So we're also above value there, a little bit lower than looks like what Friday's high. And for the day, so again, before I switch time frames, this is important for the week, right? This value area will stay the same for the whole week. So 2578 and a half. If we do happen to slip into value, 2568 and a half would be your support. So again, that's on the 1 hour. That's I'm going to be covering that not only on S&P but also the Qs and IWM. The 1 hour is really good for the week. Good support levels for the week to watch. Just moving over to the 5 minute bar, we're in value for the day. Notice when futures opened up last night, looks like we tagged the bottom of value, and we held pretty nicely. So support for the day is going to be 25.76, 75, and then resistance to the upside is 25.85 and a half. Moving over to the Qs. Again, we'll start back with the daily chart. This one has had the real nice outperformance last week. Let me just bring up the. You can see the performance right here. Qs were up 1.3%, and SPYs were only up just fractionally last week. So Qs really had the performance last week and hence way above the November value area. If we shift over to the 1 hour, we're also way above the value area, just like we were last week. When we started the week for Monday, we kind of maintained that and continued higher. And again, we're starting the week way above value, 152.28. On the 5 minute bar, I think we're starting the day, pretty decent sized value area for the day. 153.30 is your upside resistance for the day, and then 152.30 all the way down there is your support. Now, IWM is where it gets probably most interesting of the three. So your small cap index, notice that it's really gone nowheres in since the beginning of October, right? We had this big ramp up in September in small caps with banks moving up. Again, banks and financials are the biggest weight in the small cap ETF, and very high correlation between small cap banks and IWM. But just taking a look at where we are now, we're actually a little bit below value for the month of November. I don't think that that's alarming. We can get right back into value, just with one nice move today, or even a little bit of a move today. If not, I would watch that barrier, which is 148.74. That might be resistance, and that might be kind of an indicator. I think people kind of noticed the volatility last week in small caps, really kind of moving with a bigger range than definitely bigger, more than a bigger range than the S&P. So I would say that small caps remain a must watch. For the week, we're inside value, so 149.12 will tell us that we're looking at continuation mode to the upside, and 147.86 is your breaking value to the downside, telling us maybe something's going on here, maybe a mini pullback, I would say. So that I think that's the most important out of so far what we've covered in this video is the small caps and watching what they do this week. 149.12 to the upside, 147.86. And just drawing in a little bit closer to today's 5 minute bar, we're just in value for the day, barely holding on to that. I think that's 148.48. Okay, so that's the major indices. We will be going over single stock names in the trading room. That session starts at 8:50, so about 20 minutes. One other thing I'm just going to cover is the move in commodities. We did a deep dive on energy stocks. We shot that video as oil's been trending higher here the last couple weeks. So a whole video to watch on the differences of the energy, what the differences are amongst the energy ETFs, and we also did a deep dive into companies in the energy sectors that are now in uptrends. So oil continues higher. Nat gas, big lift this morning, up 2.6%. That's been in a heavy downtrend. And then also what's interesting is copper and iron ore are also up big. We did see a nice call buyer on Friday in MT. Watch those steel names this morning. There was 9,000 of the November 30 and a half calls that traded. So maybe take a look at that name with the metal space pretty bid up this morning. Gold is up 20 basis points. Silver up the same. And let's just check out what bonds are doing. Bonds are also up 35 basis points. Keep in mind there's some really big outflows in Treasury ETFs this last week. So we'll see if that has any clues for what the Treasury market does this week. All right, so that's it for today's index review, getting you set up for the week in terms of levels to watch. Again, what I usually do is place a few alerts. I will be doing that especially in the small caps. And we'll be going over single names in the Tribeca Trade Room. .com. If you're looking to be a member, visit us at tribecatrategroup.com. Go to the products section. Thanks very much and have a great day.